come down on the other side so I don't get to see him. And I'm trying to remember what his name is, and I'm like, oh, can't remember his name.
Who are you talking about?
The gentleman that's on the exit. I guess you would call him crazy or mentally ill.
Describe him.
He begs.
He what?
He begs.
So.
I mean, he never asked me for anything, but you know what he's there for. You know, I pulled up one day and I spoke to him, and I asked him his name, and I asked him what he was doing, like why, like how long it took him to put up the stones and to set them like that, and I thanked him for having it done. So he was telling me like it varies, it depends on the day, and it depends on like his mood. You know, I thought that was pretty smart of him.
And people consider him crazy.
I don't know what I would think. People consider him crazy, but I think he's a less fortunate individual. Like I don't approach him as a crazy person, but he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's just that he has no other means of acquiring food or money or whatever. So he just asks for stuff. Want me to pull over? Huh?
So, why are you driving along this park right now?
This park is a local park in our neighborhood, and we're trying to do something about it. It's a beautiful facility, underutilized. So.
When you say underutilized, what do you mean?
Look at it. It's empty. Anybody there right now? So underutilized meaning the facility is there and people could be using it to do things, but it's just there. Like,
but people currently use it.
Yeah, not as much as we would want to see people in the Bronx go out and use it.
So what are your plans?
Currently we're in a cooperative that we're looking at bringing services and activities in the park that people can use and appreciate, and food, good healthy food that will nourish the body and help people to promote physical fitness and wellness and all that stuff.
So how will that guy that people consider crazy fit into your plan?
He's part of the Bronx, so he's welcome to come to the park. You know.
So
it's a grandiose of an idea.
So,
but the idea is that everybody in the Bronx who live, work, or play here would be able to come to the park if they want to and use the facility, be part of the activities, and as a result, Bronx on a whole will have an improved health outcome, because right now we're like the lowest in all 62 counties. So we're trying to do something about that. And I'm not sure sometimes whether it's an organization move or it's a business move. So that's the disconnect sometimes, but it is what it is.
So what you're talking about, the park is there. Obviously it's been used by somebody. But you're talking, you sound like you want a policy shift towards that park. Could you explain exactly how you're planning to create a different kind of activity, uplifting activity for that park?
Well, I can't do it you know, it's not about me. It's about creating an awareness about the facility, meaning the park. It's there, and the fact that it's not being used fully right now. So we want to look at organizations that are involved with improving parks or bringing services to the park, like Friends of the Park or Friends of New York City Parks Department. That's an organization that I spoke to this lady, and she said that they have activities that they can bring to the park including movies, other stuff, family nights and all that thing. But right now we don't want to, I mean, I'm not saying don't bring it, but are we ready for that? So we have to mobilize the people and, you know, kind of educate them, and then get local organizations and politicians and local community boards and all of that. It's a community effort. It's not one person or one organization doing this.
But you as an individual, you're trying to create that atmosphere. What are the steps that you as a person will take to pull people into this new enlightenment, awareness?
Okay, education, and collaborating with other organizations that more or less are doing the same thing, working for the same cause, and connecting with more people. For example, last week I went out talking to people around the park and near the park and in the park, and one of the things that I found is the fact that a lot of homeless or mentally ill people hang out in the park and use it, you know, and people are thinking that, well, it's not safe, and so we can, you know, reach out to people, provide mental health services. They can be part of this.
So those people that are currently in the park, are you trying to get them, evict them so that and replace them?
No, not necessarily. I would prefer to have them treated, so that they're not a threat, or people are not perceiving them to be a threat. And even with treatment, people will still view them as a threat.
Yeah. So let's go back to our initial person of interest, a man that is on the other side of the river, that people consider as a madman. But you stopped and you spoke with him. And by talking to him, do you think he's a madman?
I'm not a psychologist.
No, but from your lay person.
I mean, I asked him a question and he answered.
But did he answer you in a...
He answered me in a sensible, logical way. Does that mean that he doesn't have mental illness? Doesn't necessarily mean that. But
there must be... Why was the reason? What did you admire about him? Why you stopped to talk to him?
Oh, I like the stones that he put up. It has a calming quality to me, for me. And it could be because I already seen them in certain areas where people, with meditation or mental health.
And what did he do with the stone?
He just piled them on top of each other. And I always look at the stones, because you would think that to keep them, you probably would want to go flat, flat, and another flat, or big. All right, or bigger, biggest at the bottom for support. But sometimes he would move it from, like, I don't know how to describe it. Did you take a video of it?
Yeah. So it's about gravity. It's about balance.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, he
will put a big stone and a very small stone.
Forcing you to say, turn the stone this way because it makes better sense. But then he will turn it this way, which I think is harder to balance on whatever he's balancing it on. And that's what makes it unique for me, and make me steer and argue or reason within myself about the layout. And I'm like, that's nice. I admire him for doing that right here in our area. Usually you see that in a river or in a studio where there's mental health services or some yoga or something like that. But he took it right there on the side, and I thought that was cool. So I didn't mind giving him $1 when I see him. And to me, he's like, you know, I appreciate that. So I had to talk to him that day.
So you think your intervention that you want to do in the park is to bring out people's talent that others might look at them and label them as crazy or homeless, but you want to find out the hidden gem within them, or the talent within them.
No, I'm not saying that.
But for instance, people hang out in the park. They don't just hang out there for no reason. They might hang out in the park because they're depressed, because there's no home,